Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. 안녕하세요 여러분. 릴렛입니다. 오늘은 많은 분들이 요청을 많이 받았기 때문에 한국어를 배우기 위한 몇 가지 단계와 팁에 대해 말씀드리겠습니다. 한국어를 배우는 것은 어려워 보일 수 있지만 절대적으로 가능합니다. 시간과 일관성만 있으면 됩니다. 개인적으로 저는 5년 전에 한국어를 배우기 시작했지만 중국어나 일본어를 공부할 때만큼 집중하지는 않았습니다. 그 당시에는 주로 K-드라마를 보는 것은 좋아해서 재미로 공부했습니다. 하지만 최근에는 더 높은 수준의 요창성을 얻고 싶어서 더 많은 시간을 한국어에 할애하고 있습니다. 여러분이 K-드라마, K-팝을 위해 배우든 단순히 한국어에 매료되어 배우든 이 영상은 한국어 학습 영정을 시작하는데 필요한 모든 필수 단계를 다룹니다. So, let's get started. Before you dive into learning Korean, take a moment to reflect on why you want to learn the language and what you want to achieve. Whether it's passing a proficiency exam, traveling to Korea, or enjoying movies without subtitles, having a clear goal keeps you motivated and focused. Personally, my goal is to hold fluent conversations in Korean with minimal confusion. I began by listening to Korean in the movies, or videos, gradually matching spoken words with Hangul and picking up vocabulary and grammar as I progressed. This goal keeps me on track and prevents me from losing sight of why I started learning in the first place. After this, start with learning Korean alphabets. Of course, to learn one language, one should start with the basics. Hangul is so simple that it can be learned in just a few days. There are 14 basic consonants and 10 vowels. Practice writing them out, pronouncing them, and recognizing them in words. The way I learned Hangul particularly was through YouTube. I recommend watching the video Learn Hangul in 90 minutes with Go Billy Korean. He is really good at teaching Hangul and explaining everything about it, even the correct way to write the letters. In this video, you will get a thorough walkthrough of the Hangul writing system. Even though the system is simple, watching this video in one
Practice it on your
sitting
own.
is a lot of information,
Ha.
so don't worry about making all of the information stick. Give yourself enough time to get used to reading and writing some words before moving on. After you've learned the alphabets, don't dive into learning vocabulary or grammar yet. Start simple. It's the best way to build a strong foundation for your language skills. Start with everyday expressions like 더워요, 피곤해요, 괜찮아요. For practicing phrases, I recommend watching these videos and trying to read along. You will see the difference between formal and
잠깐만요.
casual Korean. If the pace feels too
잠깐만.
fast, listen at a slower speed. It's okay
왜요?
if you can remember all the phrases.
왜?
The goal is to be able to read Hangul
신경
effortlessly.
안
Try to
써요.
incorporate these phrases into your daily life. And remember, don't just caught up in just one area of language learning, like focusing only on vocabulary or grammar. A common mistake many beginners make is spending too much time on grammar rules, which can actually hold you back from speaking freely and confidently. Instead, focus on learning Korean through sentence patterns right from the start. I mean, start with basic grammar structures and basic vocabulary together. You can learn one without the other, so I recommend you learn them together. For example, when learning new vocabulary, don't just memorize individual words, practice using them in sentences. This way, you not only learn the words, but also how they fit naturally into conversation. I highly recommend using the Talk to Me in Korean curriculum. It's a great resource, offering free audio lessons through both their website and mobile app. It covers 10 levels with at least 20 lessons per level, taking you from absolute beginner to advanced fluency. Each lesson is supported by free PDF documents that outline everything covered in detail. But make sure to supplement with other resources like additional grammar resources when you are confused. Also, my tip is to stick with one or two books and finish before moving on, because studying several at a time can be really overwhelming and time consuming. A lot of people get stuck at the beginner level because they jump from one resource to another very quickly. How to study Korean is also great if you are looking for more in-depth explanations of grammar patterns and ways to reinforce your understanding. But if you prefer a more straightforward, easy to digest approach, go with Talk to Me in Korean. The next tip is read as much as you can. One effective way to make Korean texts more approachable for learners is by reading them alongside an English translation. Start by reading a sentence, paragraph, or even an entire chapter in English first. Then read the same part in Korean. Having the context and nuances from the English version will help you better understand the Korean text. While this method won't teach you every new word, it helps you focus on the Korean content without missing key details. A great resource for practicing this is Story Korean. Don't worry if it feels challenging at first. Reading regularly will make it easier over time. Additionally, singing along to your favorite K-pop songs can be a fun way to practice reading, but keep in mind that many of them include slang that's not commonly used in everyday conversations, so don't rely on them too much. Keep up the motivation. One of the best ways to practice Korean consistently is by keeping a daily diary. Writing about your day, thoughts, or plans in Korean helps reinforce what you've learned and encourages you to think in the language. Don't worry if your sentences aren't perfect. Start simple and focus on using new vocabulary or grammar structures you've learned. Over time, you'll notice your writing improve, and it's a great way to track your progress. Plus, it's a fun and personal way to engage with the language every day. Practice speaking anyway. Speaking practice is essential for language learning, so don't hesitate to start speaking Korean right from the beginning, even if you're making mistakes. You can practice by talking to yourself in Korean, recording your speech, repeating everything you hear in lessons out loud, or sharing native speakers from K-dramas or YouTube videos. If you are struggling with pronunciation, watch pronunciation videos repeatedly until you get as close as possible to the native sound. Remember, true fluency comes from speaking. That said, if you don't have a language partner to help with grammar and pronunciation, it can be challenging to make real progress. Finding a Korean friend or language exchange partner can make a huge difference in improving your speaking skills. I highly recommend using HelloTalk, a language exchange app. While it might take some time to find the right partner, with patience, you'll connect with someone who can help, and maybe even more than one. Immerse yourself in various resources. Don't just rely only on one site or one resource to get you fluent in the language. The more you immerse yourself, the more you will come across things that you still don't know. You can watch YouTube videos, listen to podcasts, watch movies or TV shows, etc. Be sure to repeat the Korean words and phrases you hear out loud. I have also put some great resources to learn Korean in my description box, so don't forget to check them out. In this last part, I would like to talk about some great resources and recommendations. Apps like Duolingo, Drops, and Lingodeer are great for beginners and intermediate learners. Duolingo is perfect for quick, gamified lessons that help build vocabulary and basic grammar. Drops focus on
도시,
bite-sized, visually engaging lessons that are ideal for expanding your vocabulary.
도시,
Lingodeer goes deeper with structured
거짓말,
lessons covering grammar, reading, and listening comprehensively. Other helpful apps include Memorize, which uses spaced repetition to
노래방,
reinforce words and phrases.
흐,
If you're a fan of
즈,
flashcards, Anki will
하자.
be a great help. You can either make your own deck of flashcards or you can download one that someone else made. These apps make language learning more accessible, so try a few and see which one fits your style best. Download the Papago and Naver dictionaries. It has vocab lists with quizzes, daily dialogues to listen to and read, and quizzes on them too, like adding the missing word or defining the sentence structures. I hope these tips help you get started on your language journey. Remember, learning a new language takes time and patience, so don't rush yourself and enjoy the process. Be consistent, study, and review every day for a decent amount of time, at least 30 minutes. Korean is a difficult language that takes a lot of time for speakers of Romance languages, so you need to listen, read, write, speak, and just practice in general as much as possible. If you found this guide helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more language learning tips and guides. Also, feel free to drop a comment below and let me know how your Korean learning is going, or if you have any questions or recommendations. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. 안녕.